they to order ideas regarding this meeting, but I think that it's necessary to highlight all you present the level of summoning and attendance of by the special commission designated by the National Assembly to work on the issues related to electoral laws and election programs. And this is a real demonstration of exchanging dialogue, proposals, and democratization. And so to do it together by consensus, all these processes that determine the characteristics of the political practice here in Venezuela. We have invited all political parties, and we have also invited, for the special reason of this issue, to the governors, to the state governors that were elected by even the opposition. So I greet governors of the state, Karina Sergio Garridos, of the Secretary of Governorate of the Zulia State, Dr. Juan Barbosa, and representative of Governor Ramon Fernandez Balcano, the special envoy of another state. And so here are the legislators, Talia Diaz and Molina, and for the Let's Change movement, it's other legislators by the Lapis Alliance, Eric Ondarroa and Jorge Barragan, and for the ecological movement, Alejandro Aguilera, and for the electoral people's movement, and for the Alliance for Change, Sirio León legislator and Ariana Araujo, and for the Ora movement, Osvaldo Zamora, and for the Alliance We Can, it's and for the PSUV, Erika Perina Rojas, and so he's mentioning all legislators there present. For the Communist Party of Venezuela, or other political parties legislators are there, as the Eduardo Martinez, but by the Communist Party of Venezuela, Henry Parra and Zoilo Arustegui, and for the Democratic Action Movement, and for the Homeland for All legislators. For the Tupamaru movement, there are other legislators, and for the Republican movement, for Red Flags movement, and he continued mentioning for the Popular Right movement, and for the Green Party of Venezuela, for the Future Movement, for Movement of the Future of Venezuela, and for Enamórate Venezuela movement, and for the Arepa movement, for the Democratic Confederation, and for the Electoral National Movement, Electoral National Unity, Por Ti Venezuela Movement, Caracas for All party and a new time party. So he was mentioning all legislators, and so thank you very much for you being here. It has been a very full attendance of all political parties that made up the whole electoral panorama of Venezuela. And even when we are all aware of our breakthroughs regarding fundamental elements of electoral laws, the law of political participation, all laws that have to do with the electoral matters. Besides, in the previous debates, we were working on the constitutional elements related to elections, political participation, and political rights of Venezuelans, men and women. And so we are right now ahead of a situation, a special situation. It is 2025, and as the Constitution stipulates, the electoral times are the electoral times. I don't want to enter into details, into fantasy details, or people that could proclaim themselves as everlasting legislators, or they decreed monarchies in a strange way, because some former legislators intend to be legislators forever by the gods. So the determination, their determination is that the post would be inheriting, and that's not the case of the Venezuelan laws, because here the Constitution stipulates the times, the correct times. So Venezuela hasn't stopped in the times of the Fifth Republic, hasn't stopped any elections according to abided by law, by Constitution. So we are here ahead of a year nurtured in terms of elections. So we are not only referring to the novel forms of consultations, the approval consultations, and the consultative referendum of the Guyana, or of the popular referendums, or different forms for consulting the people about the projects in the case of communes and communal councils. And so the President Maduro already established, and he consulted with different popular powers, daily consultations regarding the issues about the nation's budget be allocated directly to the people through communal districts. And so not only that, but also our Constitution establishes the times for electing the posts that must be renewed or consulted at a certain time, abided by our Constitution. So the President of the Republic, who was elected on July 28th, 2024, as stipulated by the Constitution, was President Nicolas Maduro on January 10th. But this year, we must elect the National Assembly, the members of the National Assembly. So whatever it takes, on January 5th, 2026, there's gonna be installed a new National Assembly of the Venezuelan Republic, which will be elected by the Venezuelan people. And so when we determined, and we could take that proposal to the last authority. So in this year, we must we must elect legislators legislators of nominal and plurinominal circuits. This year we have to elect them for installing all members of the National Assembly on next January 5th, 2026. And so we have so the periods for the votes of the popular power varied, and as it happened at the shooting of 2000, there we renewed all popular votes, and so in this case there's a mixture of two elections, and so that it means that in this case, in this 2025, the governors of states will have to be changed, and the mayors have to be changed too, because the period ends. So we must elect regional councils for each of the states, including the Guyana Esequiba, and we must elect the communal councils of the over 100 municipalities. So to be able to have a clear organization in the development of the electoral events with schedules and periods, and that is why we are here. We are summoning this meeting to be able to set an electoral program. So what do? Do we choose together, or we do elect all people together or separately? That's what we have to define, because in addition we don't have all year, because the National Electoral Council needs some time to arrange the electoral events. So what comes up, or what would be the conclusions of these working meetings, I propose to declare ourselves in permanent session, because we are running out of time for this program. What comes up from here would be the proposal of the Special Commission for Dialogue of the National Assembly takes to the National Electoral Council. So, abided by the Constitution, it is the only authority of the Republic to be able to summon electoral events and to plan elections and to issue the elected posts. And so last year we have met 3 times in dialogue tables, and so that's an appropriate methodology to meet in those dialogue tables. And the only recommendation I would make is to establish proposals of deadlines and to allow the voter to familiarize with the electoral event. So I think it is inconvenient if we made all elections very near, because so the voter would be confusing, would be stressed if the level of, so would be stressed if he or she has to attend to all these polls. But well, that's my opinion. Depending on what we define, on what we decide, it is likely that we can summon to elections very near in the future. because and the environment of these three elections, of these three coming elections, regarding so, or if you elect the governor, and if it is, of course, it is a regional election because you would be electing the 24 governors or men and women with the legislative councils and the municipal councils. So when can we propose the National Electoral Council the deadline? And so we have to arrange three electoral programs for governors of the state, of the mayors, municipal mayors, councillors, legislators, in addition to the consultations that must be done for the public power. So let's have two tasks, mainly to propose deadlines and projects for electoral programs and establish the convenience or not of which elections would be first together or divided, and also what has to do with the rules of the game, of the of what the laws and the Constitution stipulate, and the capacity or not, or the requirements or not to be eligible for being nominees of these posts. And so this National Assembly has been reforming laws, and so the rights of voters has been debating, and the people who have the right to be voted, they have to comply with a series of requirements and duties. I know some teenagers who would be better for mayors than some mayors we have had, and as we will establish the which requirements are which are the requirements to be eligible for being nominated by these posts. So we have a lot of work to do, and I propose you to divide some. I propose you to have some other sessions.
We were watching live this meeting at the National Assembly led by the President of the National Assembly of Venezuela, Jorge Rodriguez, with all different political actors of the country as they are planning to all the schedule for the coming elections that are going to be held this year in Venezuela. This year, Venezuela will hold three main elections: local elections, regional elections, and parliamentary elections. In the case of the parliamentary elections on next January 5th, 2025, a new National Assembly would be installed coming out from the results of these elections. So Jorge Rodriguez called the session to be in permanent session and to work together to find the best schedules and the best way to carry out these elections, if all of them together the same day, or maybe two in one day, one another, or all of them separate. So this is the work that is being carried out right now at the National Assembly. Stay tuned with teleSUR English for more updates of everything that comes out from these working tables.